And it appears we're streaming. I'm going to double check. What up, everybody? Whoever ends up in here. Let's make sure we're streaming. YouTube Studio. Let's see. Live. It says we're live. And just to be 100% sure, let's check it out. There I am. Very cool. All right. And I am going to need to monitor that. It's giving me weird stuff about signing in, so let me just view that and pause the video so we don't have that nonsense. Okay, there's the stream, there's the chat. And we're good to go. Time to go ahead and post this to the brood. And to Discord. And everyone says, why would you go live on a Monday morning? It's my birthday, guys. Come on now. All right. Let's see here. We're going to put this in, yeah, Poets at War category. And Green Dragon. Okay. And now I get to introduce a little bit of what's going on. I'm going to be in chat regardless, so you guys can talk to me there. My son is going nuts back there. I have no clue if you can hear him or not. Let me close the door real quick. So let's talk, shall we? Here's the deal. I have been hard at work over the holidays on something very special and very exciting for the future. I can quote Alexander Robertson, who has seen this, as it being the best thing that I've put out so far, the most polished thing I've put out so far. And I'm working on organizing to where I can do it again and again and again and again and build more stories and worlds like I've always wanted to through poetry. I need to make money on it to justify it for the sake of family, right? It's going to happen regardless. But I really want it to be something that is also extremely available to you guys. And so I've come up with this thing. I'm not going to explain a whole lot about it, but it's essentially a one-man radio drama sort of a thing. I've tried this sort of thing before, but did not have the tools and the know-how and the knowledge that comes with making audiobooks for a living, along with other things. And while this is not going to go to Audible, because Audible doesn't like a whole lots of music in what they do, it is going to go to Bandcamp, to let's see, yeah, it can't go to Spotify because Spotify doesn't like spoken word. So basically what I'm trying to say is that this is something that I'm really excited about. And yeah, I get excited about things, but let's see what you guys think. This is my sci-fi story, The Idiot's Guide to Illegal Tech Repair, episode 1. And it is very exciting in how I was able to perform it. So you guys take a listen, leave your thoughts in the chat. I'm going to be hanging out in the chat. And yeah, afterward, if there's anyone around who's heard it or just wants to chat, I'll hang around for a little bit. It's my birthday. We'll see where things go. And without further ado, let me just get this thing started.
The Idiot's Guide to Illegal Tech Repair, Season 1, Dog Days, Episode 1, Everything Goes Right, by Joshua David Ling.
Broken mirrors show a truth we can't deny. Every reflection holds a different lie. Built on memories we swear were true, but darkest whispers, who are you? Beneath these lies we're drowning slow in whispered doubts that never go. Your fingers trace across my face, like gathering dust, yet leaves no trace. What am I? What will I become when shadows dance and daylight's gone and ghosts that's bouncing off these walls? What will I become by dawn? What are we? What will we be when truth bleeds into memory? Every heartbeat questions what we know, like footprints sucked into the ground below. The love we hold might not be real, but what is nothing we can feel? Each touch is borrowed, each kiss feels strange, like borrowed time we can't exchange. My heart leaks truth into your hands, while lies drip down like burning sand. What am I? What will I become when shadows dance and daylight's gone and ghosts that's bouncing off these walls? What will I become by dawn? What are we? What will we be when truth bleeds into memory? I tear myself apart tonight just to know this love is right. Would you still hold me if you knew that everything you touch isn't true? Would you still love what remains if all that's left is pain? Daylight's gone and ghosts that's bouncing off these walls. What will I become by dawn? What are we? What will we be when truth bleeds into memory? In this space between the truth and lies, we hold on tight and close our eyes, 'cause maybe being lost together is better than being found alone.
One, diners in space. There were few diners in that corner of space, but Blaze Halleck knew just the place. It had been a long trip through the darkness there, but he and Pandora were both prepared. Pandora, you ask? Why, she was his friend, and they would be together until the end. Their beat-up space barge was on its last legs, and they thought they could trade it in for some eggs. So they went together to Diner South to rest their aching bones and feed their hungry mouths. Their rickety vessel docked in Bay A and creaked as they walked in the entranceway. They sat at the bar and negotiated for snacks. Pandora stretched her arms and began to relax. But just as she did, she and her partner were approached by a dark-skinned woman with a cloak and a brooch. "Am I in the presence of Pandora and Blaze? ITR techs from the Sylvani Trace? Depends on who's asking. And if you've got money, please, you two, you're not even funny. My name is Amanda, and I'm building a crew. And you two have written, "We don't know what to do," all over your faces and over your hearts. Well, we might, but what's your offer to start? ITR is a basic operation. You go to planets within the Federation that have equipment that for some reason may be outdated or illegal, and you fix it, you see?
Why are you explaining our job to us? We've been doing it forever.
My point is that you need support, the kind that can't be severed. I saw your ship, the one in Bay A. I can't believe that's how you live. I have a ship, and I have a crew, and support's what we're willing to give. You cut us in on what you make, and we'll fly you anywhere, from Saturn in this system to the Sylvani Trace, Videntia, and everywhere. Ooh, Blaze, this sounds perfect.
I've only one caveat. Pandora and I have our privacy inside your ship, in our designated spot.
Of course, she exclaimed. You'll have your own quarters. I wouldn't have it any other way. We leave at 0500 from Bay E, and when you're there, you'll get advanced pay.
2. Idiot Dope. Later on, down in Bay E, Pandora and Blaze were where they should be, waiting around for Amanda and crew to tell them both what next to do. The hangar, with people of all kinds, bustled. Chitrans, Acklins, and Terrans all hustled, but soon Galactic Rangers began to skulk. This is not good.
Seriously, gulp.
The Rangers were like the police force of that age, but cunning and brutal. One wouldn't engage. Instead, run away would be the only way. But Blaze and Pandora had no way out of the bay. Just then, one turned and walked right up to the two. I'm looking for Amanda K9 and her crew. We believe they're here recruiting illegal activity.
Really, officer? I wonder who that'd be.
Well, this is their ship right here in Bay E, the Magnus Canis. And who might you two be? Suddenly, a laser blast rang out through the bays and struck the officer's palm.
Pandora and Blaze, get in the ship!
The voice came from the ship's intercom. The bay door to the ship began to open, but was jammed by those who were hoping to catch these criminals as quick as they could. Then Amanda appeared and struck a ranger right where he stood. She had a stun baton and was fighting with no doubts. Blaze began to help.
Pandora, get us out!
Pandora nodded and swung up to the wheel of the landing gear closest to her. She crawled inside and pushed past cables through little passageways and more. Soon she heard a voice from the ship's AI. What are you doing, young woman?
I need to get to the bridge of this ship.
Consider that task done. 100 blue arrows now dotted her path and pointed the way well.
Thank you, ship,
Pandora exclaimed. Call me by my name, Wendell. Hiding behind the wings of the ship, Amanda tossed Blaze a gun.
What is your deal? I had no problems before you and your ship came along.
Just shut up and cover me,
Amanda said, rolling behind a crate. Blaze shook his head and gave a sigh. This is great. Just great. Meanwhile, back in the bowels of the ship, Pandora made her way to the bridge. Her head was beginning to ache. It hurt so much, but she pressed on, grabbing her nose's bridge. She emerged from a vent and saw a young man flipping practically every switch, but something was definitely not right, as his controls sparked on the fritz.
Come on,
He urged her on, praying the ship would start up.
They're jamming the signal. Do you have an analog auxiliary backup?
Who are you? Are you with the feds?
I'm a new recruit, and we gotta keep our heads. Now, do you have one or not?
Yes, but it's vampiric.
Whatever it takes, you fuel it, I'll steer it.
Back with Amanda and Blaze, the lasers continued to sound. They hid behind a pillar and seemed completely pinned down. But all of a sudden, a voice came from on top of the ship, and Amanda yelled,
James!
Grab on! He yelled to them while lowering a rope. He pulled them aboard. You idiot dope.
Just get inside and get her going.
Amanda yelled back, and a few moments later, they did just that. Their ship rose up thanks to Pandora and the young man, and then they regrouped to go over plans. 3. Pandora's Box. Once away from the diner's port, everything in the ship fell out of sorts. People yelling and pointing the finger of blame. What is your problem, and what is this, a game? It's not my fault the Rangers recognized me. Whatever, we're safe. Chill out, ladies. I will not chill out. She could have got us killed. But she didn't, and I saved you, so once again, chill. Blaze went to protest this point once again, but Pandora looked weak from all that had happened. His bristling changed to a tone of worry. He came over and held her. Tomorrow we'll tell our stories. For now it seems like everyone is beat. I'll show you two to your quarters. She led them there, discreet. Once Amanda had left, Pandora cracked a smile and let out a soft whimper as if she just ran miles. I'm so very tired. Just sit back and relax. In fact, lay on your stomach. I'll rub your back. Pandora did as Blaze requested. She laid on her pillow and quietly rested. But she didn't know the massage she got was not a normal one. Blaze opened a panel in her back where wires and circuits were spun. He connected her to an outlet to charge there overnight, and he fixed a few connections that weren't exactly just right. You went through a lot today. You sound really drained. I don't know why I get like this. Sometimes it drives me insane. I feel like a normal girl sometimes, and others I feel helpless. That's what you got me for, Pandora. And you're here so I'm not friendless. And don't feel that you're abnormal at all. You're as human as you can be. Blaze looked inside her back and saw her heart pumping normally. For all the wires were attached to a human heart, it's true. And as he put Pandora in sleep mode, he cried a tear anew.
4. Orientation. As Pandora slept, a visual menu appeared. Every time she slept, this menu interfered. Oh, how she loved to get some real sleep. But tonight, she felt the need to do a sweep. She went through her systems and found some video embedded in her firmware drive Prime, and so she decided to watch one now, just to pass the time. She found this weird for any human to have menu systems and decks, but people always told her this was all just a result of working too hard on tech. The video started as she pondered again her weakness and memory decks, and the menu screen in large letters read, "Please have your stylus ready for the test." As the menu transitioned to a video screen, a narrator began. Act 1, and Scene. ITR and the Galactic Rangers, what your responsibility is. ITR is a dangerous profession. Remember this for the quiz. The Galactic Republican Federation is the only hope against a rogue tech whiz. When technology has run its course after it's created, it's time to throw away all that is outdated. If we do not, our society could crumble. You Galactic Rangers must not bumble. The scene changed from a man in a suit to a scene with an ITR tech. He looks similar to Blaze with shorts and goggles, but a tattoo on the back of his neck. He was repairing a combustion engine, something Pandora had done a lot. Witness the lowly ITR tech and witness his simple plot. He fixes a tractor for a farmer in need, but later the tractor explodes. If the farmer was simply willing to upgrade, this tragedy wouldn't be so. Combustion engines were useful in the past, but now they put us in danger. And this is your sacred duty as a Galactic Ranger, to keep people safe from hazardous techs, but there are other reasons Rangers risk their necks. The scene changed once again to an actor in purple attire, royal-looking tresses accented by a large choir. Think of Emperor Grieve, the GRF's sworn enemy. Many people use his tech, but they are sordid, can't you see? Vampiric technology is his main form of fuel. Draining blood from a human or animal, no, it isn't cool. The Emperor grabbed a lackey and strapped him into a machine, and a second later, after a switch was thrown, the lackey began to scream. Vampiric tech is evil as evil can be. The sanctity of human life demands that we must agree on confiscating all vampiric tech promptly, and any other tech that is against the greater GFR family. You on every level can be a game changer. This is your duty as a Galactic Ranger. The video shut off in Pandora's mind, and she stared at the menu screen, knowing nothing about her muscle tissue being wire instead of sinew. 5. The Grand Tour. "Get up, you bunch of slothy bums," Amanda yelled without a qualm. "It's time to get to work, you two," she yelled over the ship's intercom. Blaze and Pandora arose groggily and stepped onto the cold metal floor. Blaze chuckled inside himself, seeing Pandora's bad hair war. But a few minutes later, her shredlocks were tamed, and they stepped out into the foyer. And standing there was Dex Kramer, today's liaison for their employer. He was the one who helped Pandora on the bridge the day before, and he would be the one to give them their new home's grand tour. "Morning, you two. How did you sleep?" "Not very shallow and not very deep." "Well, at least it wasn't bad, am I right? Let's start your tour off today with something you might like." And so Dex took them on a whirlwind tour of their new home, the Magnus Canis. She was a complicated assortment of parts, custom built to help their chances. Blaze was amazed by all that he saw, and Pandora agreed as well. The ship seemed to have infinite stories, and stories Dex was ready to tell. He'd pass by an object and tell them how this saved his life when he was in the Manchuria Canal, or how that gizmo helped him escape hundreds of Greaves forces, and how their jaws did gape. But then Dex came to the heart of it all, the engine Model X-20, known as the Grand Maul. Pandora couldn't help herself and hugged the amazing device. Blaze smiled at her enthusiasm, and Dex said, "Wait till you see what's inside. I did a lot of work on old Mally too. She can run off any fuel in the universe, even off stale old wood glue. But I only have 3 feeder systems. Amanda's kind of a cheapskate. I keep telling her we need options for fuel, especially as of late. The vampiric feeder system saved our life yesterday. Hopefully Amanda can see that. You can show her the way." "Yeah, but..." Suddenly, Dex was cut off. The alarm system sounded, and James was ticked off. The one from yesterday who'd lowered a rope, and the one who called Amanda an idiot dope. He yelled through the intercom for all to hear. "Grievian ship popped out of nowhere. It's a 320 sphere. He's got some big-time munitions, and he's coming over." Amanda's voice pierced the intercom. "Operation Red Rover!" "6. Red Rover." The shields went up, and so did James, to the ship's single gunner port. Blaze went to the bridge and Pandora stayed with Dex. Their situation they needed to sort. Amanda watched with Blaze on the bridge as they noted the tiny craft approaching. 320 sphere? Really, Grieve? Why do you have to be encroaching? I've read about these. Spheres are small, but their weapons are superpowered. I just hope he's going to skirt around us, or our situation will have soured. Just then, they received a call, and Amanda answered and said, "Turn around, 320 sphere, or else you will be dead." The Grievian troop didn't laugh or mock. He simply told them this: "You are trespassing on Grievian space. You will receive justice." The next thing they knew, the 320 sphere moved to attack position. It fired shots from its oversized 320 vampiric cannon. They hit the ship and rocked it hard, taking shields down to 82%. It seemed this little Grievian pit bull on destruction was hellbent. James returned fire, but the ship was fast. Augmented by its vampiric drive, the sphere was not simply being driven, it was practically alive. It jumped and dodged James's shots left and right, then Amanda called down below. "We have to do something! Dex and Pandora! Use your brains! Let's go!" Pandora looked at Dex, and Dex back at her, and in a moment, they began to smile. "A digital combine sealed with some tape, and we send it a phantom file." They got to work quickly, attaching wires to parts. The ship took 2 more hits, and out flew sparks. As Dex welded the combine, Pandora wrapped it in tape, and they loaded a file on it that would do something great. They ran to the gunner port and loaded their gizmo inside, an old compressed air gun. Dex beamed with pride. James looked in disgust. "Just fire the dang thing." Pandora activated the trigger, and their toy began to sing. It shot out into deep space and began to track for digital vampiric signals, and it found no lack. The signal given off by the sphere's vampiric weapon called to the gizmo like a light to a moth, and forward the combine was beckoned. A few moments later it stuck to the hull, and in an instant, its weapon dulled. "Quickly, Dex, that button there!" Dex pushed the button, and a green gel was bared. It stretched from the ship and wrapped around the sphere and began pulling it in. "How's that for fear? Our little troop's gonna tell us his lies. Good work, team. You all win a prize. We'll get some very expensive secrets from him and sell him to the feds. Man, this is such a win!" 7. Prisoner. The Grievian troop was brought aboard and handcuffed to a chair. There wasn't a shred of mercy in his evil stare. But Amanda seemed unfazed by this and instead began to pace back and forth in front of him with swagger and with grace. "Well, well, well, what do we have here? A little soldier far from home? What are you, a little sightseer?" That icy stare from the Grievian troop simply would not lift. His countenance was one of stone. His face, it would not shift. "In any case, here's the deal. We will fix your ship. You will go back to your home, and no one will tell of this. But in exchange, we copy your hard drives and do what we will with that." Suddenly, the troop grew rigid, and in Amanda's face spat. Amanda closed her eyes at the spit and tried to regain her composure, but she failed at this moment, and her anger won her over. James charged into the interrogation room and began to hold her back. "You're mine, you indecorous Grievian creep! Amanda Canine, get back!" The Grievian troop smiled at this. "Oh, so Canine's your daddy. What is he talking about, Amanda?" "Please, he's just being catty." "Whatever. It's my job to extract information. I'm good at putting on the hurt." "Just leave him alone for now. No dinner or dessert." The two walked out, leaving the troop locked inside his cell. Then a voice came from the ship's AI, the one simply named Wendell. "Amanda, ma'am, you have a call from the username Coolidge." "Tell him that I'll be right there. I was dealing with someone foolish." 8. A call from Coolidge. Amanda came onto the bridge and sat before the video screen. "Put Coolidge through, Wendell," she said to the ship, and then Coolidge was on the screen. The balding young man looked somewhere between the ages of 25 and 40. With a red beard that was full of crumbs, he looked disheveled and dirty. "What's up, Amanda? How's it going? You're looking good today." "Just cut to the chase, Coolidge. What do you need? What will you pay?" "Come on, Amanda. Pretty thing. Sunshine? I thought we could talk and maybe have a glass of wine." "If that's your mission, the answer is no. What happened between us was a long time ago." "All right, fine. I'll cut to the chase. I'm having a little trouble with the power at my base. The feds are starting to monitor all nuclear power, both great and small. So I'm downgrading my system to remain off the grid. Would you help me, please? I'd be obliged if you did." "Sounds like something that's right up your alley. Why don't you do it yourself?" "We all change over time, Amanda. I'm sure it's not just myself." Coolidge raised his hands to show, all mechanical parts down from the elbow. Huh? What happened to you? A little accident with a fire screw. So what do you say, Amanda? Is this something you'll do? Amanda stood for a moment and stared down at her shoe. She then looked out at the stars, her arms folded across her breast. She cocked her head to one side and said, 6,000, and the answer is yes. Done is done, Amanda. You know I don't like haggling price. Just be cool when I'm over there and everything will be all right. Amanda ended the call and walked right off the bridge. Blaze went to ask her what their past was, but James grabbed his wrist. If there's one thing about Amanda you should never ask about, it's her love life, Blaze Halleck. Of that, there is no doubt. 9. Storms a-comin'. And so the band of techs arrived at Coolidge's space station home. The completely cloaked assortment of parts would have looked like a ring around a dome. If seen without its cloaking on, a sight it would be to behold. But coordinates sent to the Magnus Canis let them dock, and into action they rolled. It didn't take Amanda and Coolidge long to get everyone on task. His project seemed straightforward enough, and Blaze was blazing fast. Reconnecting lines to solar panels and tweaking orbital defaults, Amanda worked alongside him. So, what's up, boss? Not much, man. Sorry we haven't talked. This is how it is sometimes. Way more walk than talk. Yeah, so how did you get into ITR? Now there's a story truly bizarre. Amanda chuckled and ripped off a panel. She pulled some wires that sparked, and those she began to dismantle. Now for every story I tell you, you've got to tell me yours. So don't think I'm some open book. You've got to pay for my mind's tours. All right, go ahead. What do you got for me? I left home when I was 19. I had to get out and be free. My father's a general in the Galactic Federation. It was all laws and rules with him. No room for improvisation. So how about you, Silvani man? What's with you in Pandora? We've been friends for a long time, and we like this sector's aura. We've been traveling around searching for a home, a place to finally settle down, a place to call our own. But I'm not sure if we ever will. We love to travel about, and we love ITR way too much to be bored and do without. Amanda smiled, and the two continued, working in harmony. While in the docked ship, the Magnus Canis, someone had broken free. The Grievian troop the team had captured was skulking through the ship, unaware if he could escape and give his captors the slip. But nearby, he heard a sound near the port side airlock. He jumped behind a stack of crates and saw a man step in from the dock. The man was paunchy and had a red beard, and he rubbed his mechanical hands. Wow, Amanda, that was your password? Give me a break, man. The man came aboard and commented to himself on how cool the Magnus Canis was, and thoughts within the Grievian troop spun as vile plans in his mind buzzed. 10. Lockdown. You can't be serious. You use that thing for more than just a paperweight? I'm telling you, Dex, with the Adams Codex, the system is really great. What in the world are you smoking, girl? Jefferson's a piece of junk. And as they were saying this, the Grievian troop around their perimeter slunk. He headed straight to the command center, but he needed a passcode. A magnetic card or signature was needed to make the security system erode. But that was no problem for this crafty troop. He had everything planned. He reached into his utility pocket and pulled out Coolidge's hand. He put the metal palm against the reader, and soon he was led inside. Lockdown he immediately initiated. Then he beamed with pride. He turned on all bands of communication and blasted his image to the sky. Here are my coordinates, my liege. Make my captors fry. Amanda saw this signal broadcasted across the monitors in her space. She ran to the airlock for the dock where their ship was anchored to Coolidge's base. The door would not budge an inch, and Amanda had a conniption. She tugged at her hair as her eyes bulged. This mess defies defies description. This has been The Idiot's Guide to Illegal Tech Repair, written, produced, and performed by Joshua David Ling. To continue this story, check out joshuadavidling.com. Stay tuned for a preview of the next episode.
What will I become when shadows dance and daylight's gone and ghosts that's bouncing off these walls? What will I become by dawn? What are we? What will we be when truth bleeds into memory? In this space between the truth and lies, we hold on tight and close our eyes. 'Cause maybe being lost together is better than being found alone.
When danger comes to Coolidge's pad, the situation is turning bad.
The station is now on lockdown, and there's no way for us to leave.
As Grievian forces close around, a traitor's message is received. For Grieve and for his power, I patiently await you. With time now counting by the hour, there's only one thing left to do.
Time for some defiance.
In hallways dark, where hunters prowl, through server rooms where dangers scowl, the crew must fight with all their might to make it through this deadly night.
I didn't even know he was there. I couldn't have put up a fight.
When all seems lost in deep despair, a daring plan ignites.
Your secrets are all safe with me.
Will they escape? Who will survive? When Grievian warships soon arrive. The Idiot's Guide to Illegal Tech Repair, Episode 2, Escape from Coolidge's Pad. For more info, visit joshuadavidling.com.
And we're back. What up, people? So yeah, wanted to run down a couple things. This is going to be going to the Jubal's Wardrobe feed as well as the Poets at Work Creative Network feed. Might do a little bit of an edit to make sure the entire thing gets in, because we did have some drop frames. I wanted to play with OBS, kind of go from scratch, move things around during a stream, try stuff, see what happens, because last time I recorded the broadcast, it ended up being completely and totally screwed up. And yeah, I'm experimenting a lot right now. It's usually how things go when I end up having a bit of a little, come here. Peter is here. Check out Peter. You wanna say hi?
Hi.
Peter's my son. I love this guy. Yep. Are you flying? What are you doing? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
He's flapping his arms, flying. You're silly. You're silly. Okay. All right. Thank you. So yeah, this is just sort of my birthday gift thing. I actually don't want to edit. But for those who want more of this, please visit joshuadavidling.bandcamp.com. I'm going to be making a lot more of these, Lord willing, in the future, and full series, and really start to get on a roll with these. I'm hoping to eventually get to a level to where I could make one of these once a week if I really needed to. So it'll take time, but I think I'm going to get to that kind of speed at some point. I've gotten a lot faster at creating audiobooks, and just the little extra step of the music really isn't that bad. So with that being said, haven't had any people come in chat. That's okay. I'm sure I'll talk with them throughout the day. If you want to join the brood, joshuadavidling.com/brood. That's my Discord group and Facebook Messenger group and basically all kinds of other stuff. We're creating together, being inklings, helping each other in our daily lives, and it's really made a difference for me in this past year. And I hope it has for you guys in the brood too. With all that being said, Yeah, I have stuff to do. It is still Monday, even though it's my birthday, and so I got to get to it. This has been really fun, and I look forward to doing a lot more of these with you. Be your family's bard. Do not turn to the right or to the left, and the Lord will be with you wherever you go. We'll see you next time in the trench.